Yeah, with the title Zontar, the Thing from Venus, that tells you exactly what you're in for. Welcome to my channel, KC, that's me, Carrie Chug the Sludge Storyteller, here to talk about the wonderful world of storytelling. Here talking about different kind of storytelling, sometimes it's inspiring, readily available in public domain, another look in the realm of Kaiju. Once again, after deciding that it was worth exploring after a viewer suggested it. So to clarify, public domain here refers to media that has reached a status where no one can claim ownership over it, either due to reaching a certain age, which currently means anything that came out before 1928, or if the owner fails to renew copyright at the proper juncture. The latter applies here, as this movie, directed by Larry Buchanan, released in 1967, was never renewed when it should have been. And I better clarify, while I believe Zontar fits the bill for kaiju, the Japanese word for strange beast, not necessarily big beast, and he is larger than your average human, it's only fair to let YouTube channel Porsche Popnecker's thumbnail tell you just what the runtime would be for Zontar to appear on screen, and how crudely built the either costume or puppet, maybe it's both, is. But what's sad is that it's terribly constructed compared to what was used in the movie it was a remake of. It Conquered the World, brought to you by the king of B movies himself, Roger Corman.
As the plot goes, Zontar comes to Earth by hitching a ride on a satellite that a team of scientists sent out to probe Venus. The chief protagonist in scientist Dr. Kurt Taylor is played by John Agar, and supporting character Keith Ritchie is played by Tony Houston. And Keith, maybe you've heard this before, takes it upon himself to usher in Zontar, who promises to bring on a more peaceful way of life to the human race before it destroys itself. After his arrival to Earth, just what does Zontar do to accomplish this? He sends in some small flying creatures to swoop in, bite humans on the back of the neck, turning them into zombies.
Now, as I watch those creatures, I think it's a bird, it's a beetle, it's
Injectopod.
And while no one ever tries to remove the spur left in the neck to see if it would turn them back to normal, we're supposed to readily accept that it's permanent.
Cruel destiny, if you will.
Amid all that, Keith's wife is increasingly fearful of what's becoming of him. Now I watch Keith and the kind of person he is, even before he gains contact with Zontar, and how we're supposed to believe that he's a social reject, and like all other characters, as superficial as that feels, I have to say to the filmmakers,
under that setup and those circumstances, don't give the guy a supermodel wife.
anyway, her name is Martha, and to the actress Pat Delaney's credit, she does put heart into her performance more so than others in the cast, hammy as it does become. Anyway, more people get stung by injectopods, including Kurt's wife Anne, who unleashes an electropod at him, leading to one of the better action scenes under a low bar, followed by what might be the most convincing moment of pathos in the entire movie.
Again, with the assumption that the injectopod bite can only mean that she's automatically too far gone.
Also too far gone are the satellite research team, except for Louise, who they all kill, and Kurt has to kill all of them in turn. Martha's hammy anger puts her over the edge to the point where she takes a gun to Zontar's lair, and it's shortly after her departure that Keith comes to realize Zontar's intention for the entire human race is indeed at the highest level of hostility, and that he must destroy him, but too bad Martha left before he could say that guns can't kill him. And somehow, even before his realization of Zontar's imminent danger, Keith had already constructed the one weapon that can.
You just have to remember that movies like this are supposed to entertain you with this nonsense type thing.
Ultimately, Keith makes that expected necessary sacrifice as he uses that very weapon on Zontar, and we're reminded that everyone but Kurt died because of Zontar, forcing you to comprehend that this is a tragedy, but not getting any message as to what purpose the tragedy
He acted
serves.
like he knew that thing.
So bad it's good, maybe with the right watch party with you, but one bewildering thing, uh, John Agar, I kind of have a soft spot for him.
Now, on my channel, I've repeatedly mentioned how I'm a big John Wayne fan, and any other fellow fan, while they might not recognize the name John Agar, would readily recognize his face. He co-starred with Duke early in his film career with High Billing in Fort Apache. She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, and Sands of Iwo Jima. So how did he end up here? Turns out his career went downhill in the early 50s amid his alcoholism, 3 DUIs, and the resulting divorce from America's sweetheart herself, Shirley Temple. To his credit, he did manage to salvage his acting career, getting lead B movie roles, largely in movies that follow the lines of, big surprise here, monster movies. Perhaps most notably in the sequel to The Creature from the Black Lagoon, Revenge of the Creature, and Tarantula. Interestingly, in both cases, he got top billing over
Well fed?
Yeah,
Clint
something
Eastwood.
like that.
Well, maybe so, Doc, but there were 4 rats in there when I changed my lights.
Fire 2 rockets on this first pass.
Of course, early in his career,
Apparently, he never completely lost touch with John Wayne because he managed to get parts in 3 more of his films: The Undefeated, albeit blink and you'll miss him; Chisholm as a family man moving out of town; and Big Jake, the first guy to get shot in the opening scene. But I have to believe that this was the lowest point of his acting career. If IMDb is to be believed, it had a budget of only $22,000, chicken feed even for the 60s. Unclear how he got pulled into this, maybe a 3-month period of no offers from studios. But Tony Houston, Susan Bierman, Pat Delaney, Neil Fletcher, all bit players at best throughout their careers.
once again, thanks to free streaming platforms, it's readily available for your viewing and educational pleasure. But that's my take on the public domain movie Zontar, The Thing from Venus. Thank you for watching. Agree, disagree, or something I left out? Please let me know in the comment section. If you like this video, please click like. If you like this channel, please click subscribe or follow me on Instagram. As always, the link to order Sledge number 1 and 2 is below in the description, or you can order Sledge number 1 on Kindle. In any case, you can order it in digital or paper format. Still working on Sledge number 3 for it to have a strong ending to this 3-part miniseries. I'm keeping in touch with Tiago as he finishes the few remaining pages. But let's all look for civility amid all the bad news out there about social and political strife. Let's not hate and find friends wherever we go. Everyone be safe, and God bless.